So you've just picked up a camera and maybe you snapped one or two great shots during church, shots that make you think, I could really do this. But how do you consistently capture powerful moments even as a new church photographer? Well, I'm a full-time creative and production director for two growing teams at a large local church. And over the last 3 years, I've taken what was once a non-existent creative team and built a thriving department. I've trained over 20 passionate volunteers, many of who started with zero creative skills, y'all, zero, and helped them turn their passion into a real talent. Today, they're not only creating high quality content for our church, but many have launched creative businesses and making money on the side. And here's the first thing you need to know right out the gate. You ready? Here it is. Your mindset matters just as much as your settings. If you walk into the room focused on serving the moment instead of just snapping the shot, your photos will immediately tell a better story. In today's video, I'm breaking down 5 things every beginner church photographer must know to unlock their full potential and start shooting with confidence. Without any more further ado, let's jump right in. Number 1, don't sleep on your photography fundamentals. Don't sleep on the fundamentals, y'all. First up, don't sleep on the fundamentals. I'm gonna say that one more time. Don't sleep on the fundamentals. Look, I get it. Church photography can be overwhelming at times. It could be sometimes stressful. It can have a lot of moving pieces, right? But no matter what kind of camera you're using, the fundamentals will never change. That's why you can have the latest, most fire camera, right? And still take real bad photos. The fundamentals are knowing how to actually shoot and becoming familiar with the exposure triangle, which is simply this: your ISO, your shutter speed, and your f-stop. Here's the truth, y'all. A competent shooter is a confident shooter. I'm gonna say that one more time because some of y'all missed it right there. A competent shooter is a confident shooter. The more competent you are, the more confident your shooting will be. If you know how to properly expose your shots and understanding how these core settings all work together, you'll be able to grab any camera. You can grab your phone and grab great content. Why? Because you're a competent shooter. You got to think about the environments that we shoot in. We shoot in live environments. This isn't the studio, right? So things change moment to moment. So we, as photographers, need to be able to change with the moment. And that all comes through being confident in the fundamentals. Look, I know a few of y'all right up in here are like, well, I could just shoot on auto. Well, that might be the case, but I'm here today to give you a push to get off auto. Because here's my question. Are you shooting on auto because that's honestly what the moment is calling for? Or are you shooting on auto because you don't know how to quickly and properly expose your photo? Because there's a difference. Look, and I've found time after time, a lot of people just use auto as a crutch because they don't know. Listen to me. I need you to lean in right here. You're limiting your photo's potential by shooting on auto. By shooting on manual, you give your photos the best data possible, so when you get to the editing and post, you have the most control over your photos. What you're doing when you're shooting in manual is you're basically giving your photos a blank canvas that you can paint on and post. Look, y'all, it's time to actually learn how to shoot and get off auto. Our auto days are over. You'll thank me later. All right, y'all, quick break from the video because I've got something that's gonna make your Sundays so much smoother. Y'all ready? All right, lean in here for a sec. Look, I know how tough it could be to get clean, crispy church photo content, especially if you're just starting out. The lighting isn't always perfect, you're moving fast, it's a big Sunday and you got a lot on your plate. This is why I created the Sunday Starter Pack, y'all. It's a set of 6 custom LUTs and presets that I designed specifically for church photography. These are the exact ones that I actually use to instantly elevate the look of our photos at our church, helping us turn just okay content into content that's sharp, attractive, and consistent. The best part? They're beginner friendly, super easy to teach your volunteers. If you want to save time editing, create content that elevates your church's look, and set a consistent standard for your team, grab the Sunday Starter Pack today. The link's right below in the description, y'all. Trust me, this pack will make your Sundays and your content a whole lot better. All right, let's jump back in. Number 2, let's tap in right here. Become a great editor to become a great shooter. Now, this second point is something a lot of new photographers that actually overlook. But here's why, to me, that this point is actually one of the most important out of this whole video that you're watching. Here's why. To capture great photos, you need to develop a great eye, right? But if you're only shooting and you're never editing, you're missing a whole other side of your development. Here's what editing teaches you. Editing teaches you exactly what a great photo looks like and what a not so good photo looks like. It trains your eye for detail. And when you're editing, you start to notice what works. You start to notice how light and composition come together, right? And here's the best part. that skill actually translates back into your shooting. You'll be able to walk into a room knowing exactly what you're looking for because you spent time learning in post-production. Development is all about the reps. You're going to hear me say that. And I'm going to say it again right here. Development is all about the reps, the amount of time you actually have doing a thing. And being behind the camera isn't just when shooting, y'all. It's also when you're editing. And that's why in my development course, this photography course that I have, I start everyone in the editing seat first. Before we even touch a camera, before we get to the camera, right? I have them actually spend time at the computer. And every semester, I'm told, I get the feedback that they're thankful. Yo, Joe, thank you for putting me in the editing seat. I didn't get it at first, but now I see, and actually it's helped me when I picked up the camera because I actually know what to look for, right? So here's my encouragement with this one. Don't skip this step. Editing will instantly level up your shooting. All right, here we go. Number 3. I'm hoping this is helping somebody. Number 3, Sunday shouldn't be the only day you're shooting. Now, to me, this is a big one, right? Because like I said in the previous point, development is all about reps. And if you're only picking up your camera on Sundays, you're missing other opportunities to grow. Go out and shoot during the week, y'all. We got 6 other days. Set up a photo shoot with friends. You got a dog, shoot your dog. Go downtown, right? Just pick up your camera, shoot around your house. I don't know what it is, but you just need to shoot. Here's the mindset shift that you need to have. You ready? Here it is. Every time you shoot, you're learning. Learn from your last shoot and aim to get 1% better every single time, right? Let me say it like this, and this may sound a little strong, but I'm just gonna have to say it. All right, you ready? Here it is. You're doing your church a disservice if you're only letting Sundays be your training ground. I'm gonna let that sit for 2 seconds. You're doing your church a disservice if you're only allowing Sundays to be your only training ground, right? Don't let your camera collect dust throughout the week. Get those reps in, y'all, right? Here's a church photography cheat code. And actually, I was real hesitant about sharing this in this video, but I'm gonna just go ahead and give it to you right here, right now. Ready? Here it is. So many churches, right? And probably your church have midweek rehearsals, right? Where the worship team comes together, the production team comes together, right? And they're going over songs for Sunday. You can use that night to your advantage, right? Like show up to the rehearsal with your camera and get some reps in, right? And watch how that alone elevates your Sunday. You're actually getting exposed to Sunday before the Sunday even comes around, right? There you go. You can have that one right there. Number 4, remember the why and remember the who. Remember the why and remember the who. Point number 4 is the most unique and I think one of the most important because now we're starting to talk about our heart posture as we approach ministry, right? Because when you're shooting at church, you can't treat this serve like it's a gig. You can't come in and shoot just however you want to, right? This isn't a photo shoot. You're serving God's house. This is actually an act of worship. Romans 12 calls it a reasonable service. That means we can't show up with a that'll do mindset. You know what I mean by that? Like that'll do. Like okay, this looks no. What we want excellence. And excellence, there's a difference between excellence and perfection. Excellence is knowing that I did the best that I could with the knowledge, the resources, and the tools that I had available to me at that time. So what do? We shoot with intention and we shoot with conviction. Here's the big question to keep in the back of your mind as you shoot for your church or your ministry. Here it is. How can someone's life be changed by encountering this content? I'm gonna just let that one sit again. How can someone's life be changed by encountering this content? Maybe it's a photo of someone with their hands lifted in worship that sparks something in their heart to tap into your church. Maybe it's a moment of connection that you captured the greeter at the door, right? That draws someone back to the church. Here's the truth. You don't know what God will use to draw somebody. So why don't we just shoot like every single photo that I take, like this photo right here, it's about to win someone to Christ. Whatever it is, don't take the why or the who lightly. Remember why and who you're doing it for. Number 5, last point, we're out. Don't be a one-man team. Look, y'all, listen, don't be a one-man team. You shouldn't be the only person shooting in your church. There are actually people in your church right now with a passion or interest in photography. They just haven't been presented yet with an opportunity to shoot. Like, I'm speaking from experience right now. Stop waiting for the full package to walk through the door. That's likely not going to happen. No, what's more likely is that you have a bunch of people who have the heart. They're just waiting for the opportunity and for that heart and that skill to be developed and cultivated in them. And right in here, you're probably like, yo, so like, how do I find the people? Well, it's simple. You just talk, be relational. Instead of hanging out in the creative office or wherever the green room in between services, get out there and start talking to people. Start showing up to extra things. Start showing up to small groups. Host a small group, right? Talk to people and literally ask, hey, have you ever considered picking up a camera? You have an interest in photography? I can show you. You can even, like, one of the things that I did initially when I first came down was I set up a small group. I literally, a creative small group where I posted it. People were able to sign up. And then from there, I was able to cultivate and start groundwork, showing people exactly what I do. Look, once you find the people, you start training them, have them eventually shoot with you, right? Half of learning is actually doing, but the other half of learning is just watching. You'd be surprised how much you can learn by just giving people the opportunity to shadow you and watch you. If you're the only one shooting, the creative efforts start and stops with you. And that's just not sustainable. The goal is, here it is, you want to replicate yourself, because great leaders create other great leaders. Build a team of people who can do what you do. And trust me, when you start seeing people that you've cultivated, that you've developed, actually going out and capturing incredible moments, it's one of the most rewarding things that you will ever experience. Don't be a one-man team. All right, so those are the 5 things every beginner church photographer needs to know. Number 1, don't sleep on the fundamentals. Number 2, become a great editor to become a great shooter. Number 3, don't let Sundays be your only shoot day. Number 4, remember the why and the who. And number 5, don't be a one-man team. Look, if this video has been helpful, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more church creative tips, and let me know in the comments which one of these points hit home for you. And remember, every time you pick up the camera, you're not just taking pictures, you're capturing moments that can change lives. You were created to create, so let's keep shooting with confidence, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.